Hey guys, Andy and my friend Jackie. Straight over to Jackie now. She's going to do not one, not two. There's at least three poems there I don't know. So this is makes it entertaining. Over to you, my friend.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I haven't really thought. I'm going to open with this one because it's called The Feather Girls, and it is a story of creativity gives you space to do whatever you want to do. We write sometimes in spite of ourselves, knowing this nonsense world has no time to dwell on our flotsam and jetsam minds. Today, that we're word blind and crippled in every distinction, our systems cruelly maimed to imperfection. Limbs removed by aliens, altered, then reconnected. Now they deserve only to lie in hospital trolleys as once honest attachments reduced to promised worries, and only a furnace will do. And later, into that, we'll pour our bludgeoned minds too. We, the feather girls, half barbed, half flighty, half hollow, half streamlined, half deadly. A smattering of half-hatched halflings clutching the scraps of underling bird frames to find freedom in secret places. The sky, the turrets and majestic buildings, here blue sticks to our barbs like a residual art whilst behind us the air turns ink black. We, the feather girls, miserly in our stolen glory, mixing our metaphors and the telegraph wires of our flighty imaginations, cackling, crippled, tripped out half-wits, barbed dangerously dipped and poised and drip.
Oh, I love the ending there with the drip right at the end of it. And that's like you had all
Yes,
the
drip and a
movement.
pen. You
Yeah,
can say what you like when you like. That's kind of from the being sick, and the reference in it to turrets is also about my novels, because that's a place I often go back to. The turrets in my novels,
yeah.
sounds
We
crazy.
should have. There's two things actually on this. I've lost sidetrack on this because we've not mentioned your update before. You told people about during the break, did we? But we'll comment on that in a minute on your novels
Oh,
because I should
that's
have mentioned
cool.
it. Now,
That's
obviously,
I'm
with
struggling a little
this,
bit because I've got people talking outside the room, which is making it very hard to concentrate.
well, do you want to borrow my machine gun and go? Anyway,
I don't feel like this.
oh well. Anyway, I was going to say to you then, Jackie. Obviously, I loved the machine gun energy in that piece and the drips at the end of it. You give that right. It was almost like it slowed the pace down with the piece really well at the end there. It did. So, what was you said it was about your illness that poem, wasn't it? So,
Yeah,
it's
that
quite
opens the book. It opens the
yeah,
book, it sets a scene. And it's about the fact that, you're very sick and you're kind of stuck, and, you do feel like your limbs have been removed by aliens and altered and reconnected and all that kind of stuff. But you've got your freedom because you've got your pen. And within that, nobody can touch you. You're perfectly safe. Your worlds are safe. And like I said, that line about the turrets, it sounds, anybody not knowing about my novels would think, why has she put that in there? But to me, quite often, I wrote those novels 10 years ago. I've still not done much with them, but I still feel them. My characters, I often feel drawn back into them. They are a safe refuge for me, and they're
no,
very fantastical. So there are turrets everywhere.
that's where to be. Okay, on to poem number two.
So this is a poem that isn't in the book but has a QR code. It's one I would never normally do, okay, because I think it's too heavy and I don't believe in disempowerment, but I'm going to do it anyway. Okay. I've never come to terms with it. I doubt I ever will. The harsh word of a doctor telling me I'm not any sick, but sick in a way that will not heal. I've never accepted it, should I? Am I wrong to protest? To expect more than a shrug when my hair falls out from the drugs, more than a stonewall face when I explain that my mind has been savaged by steroids, leaving me hooked on Googling the most efficient method I can find for suicide? Are people afraid? Is that what I'm not being told? Or is it only my body that refuses to exist in a vacuum where mind is a completely separate conception and the two cannot meet? Unless, as I've been informed, you're even more of a failure than every other chronic sufferer's lives be shortened by the inflammatory soiled date stamp 666 body of the chronic and his sheer painful, swollen, useless limbs who has no real purpose. We're all going to die anyway. If she has no bread, then so let her eat cake. Am I the only one left washed up by this dispassionate hospital circus? I've never grieved. How can I grieve for what I don't believe to be gone, especially when I'm already caught up in the grief for the inexcusable behaviour of everyone who I did put my faith in, whilst I sat waiting for the gift of explanation because I was left writhing in so much pain, and all I ever really asked for was compassion. Because I never asked for much, not really. But you'd think I'd requested the sun, perhaps a moon on a sickle, or Mars on a plate, maybe Venus's lips or a doctor's dinner date. Yet what everybody managed to forget is that my body quite regularly refuses to move. And when it does, it's also screaming a particularly petulant shade of murderous blue, and I've no clue who to turn to when my mind and body get confused, especially when everyone around me is acting as though they are not supposed to, though it seems to me that they're the ones who are wrong, not me. And perhaps it would be more apt if people would respectfully step back and allow my mind to thrive in whichever way it has learnt how to survive within this chronically confusing fairground ride that is a perpetually heartbreaking trip of those of us who are chronically sick. I was reading that one, so my eyes might have been everywhere, but
wow, no, I would call that absolutely just howling out the piece. That was incredible. That was a proper tour de force, that one. Yeah, it's, I think, doing what you've done there with the QR codes in this book, it takes it in, I think, a very different way in some ways. And I think you've done a good move there, because it's been interesting to see how that poem would have stood up on page. But I think doing what you've done there with it,
more powerful. The film is more powerful.
more powerful, more powerful.
And it didn't need all the words, because that's as you can actually, I don't normally ever share that piece. It's a very raw piece. It's very personal. It's very painful to do. So, and I've just realised all the pieces I said I'm going to do are a little bit heavy, and it's like, maybe we should do something lighter. Do you want a lighter one?
You say go off what the set list was going to be? Didn't you say you had a poem about your daughter you wanted to do?
My daughter. Do you want to hear this one?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay, so I've got two poems about my daughter. There's Ode to Summer 2018 when she's 9. Okay, and there's Ode to Summer 2022 when she's 13.
I was going to ask you about those two as well, but obviously, yeah, please do. I'll talk about them afterwards. Yeah, do both back to back. Do both back to back. Yeah, back to back. Yeah.
Okay. Maeve, she's 9. She will swamp me in a blink. Her feet already match up to mine as we bristle against bitter summer winds and scurry hop to the sea. I shriek in drama, shriveled kelp on barefoot, but she shrieks with laughter. She thought to put her flip-flops on. She's always been more sensible than me and braver, bare-skin barely registering the icy water. I wear neoprene. I watch her in her world. She digs to find the Sand King. Tells me he's made out of sand, but I mustn't mention it because he's sensitive about that kind of thing. I lie back, gasp at the ice trickle that finds a gap at the back of my neck and float on liquid gold. Will the sun to emerge from behind a late afternoon foil-wrapped cloud? We lie there together, soothed by waves. We flinch together when a gull squawks over. Mummy, my still baby girl, but only by a whisper, says, the sea's my best friend. So that was summer 2018. This is summer 2022. My Maeve at 13, a proper goofball as we scurry hop once again down to the sea. Reach its edge, dip our toes, wade shallow depths till swoosh I'm soaked, and scolding her for splashing me with ice-cold water. Of course, she repents, my Maeve. Forever sensitive and overprotective towards me, though we're only being daft, then splash, she's down, straight under, no pause, but no rewind either. Only a fast forward from 4 years ago when she was last my seaside poetry daughter, age 9. How much I wish now that I'd always captured her summers like this in rhyme. Still, we're here now. Me on the kayak, I'm trying to persuade her to try it. She says it hurts her back, and I flinch at these glimpses of adulthood I catch that hold her back. Still, she's not too keen to swim, not yet. So I dig in my paddle and circle my daredevil daughter, who, like me, is enthralled by this vast salt body of water against her skin. That protective organ that keeps her heart from being torn to smithereens, but cannot stop the tentacles of other things like jellyfish, cruel vibes, and the overall unpredictability of life. So I encircle her. No tentacles will interfere whilst I, the mother, am here. Later, back on a beach, post chips on a bank overlooking the sea and pre-ice cream. I'm flat out daydreaming in a rare ray of heat-filled sun when her fingers enfold my fist, wrap sand in my palm and lift my arm to dribble prehistory all over my body, and together we snigger. Still the child, still the mummy, just us together, closer than the sea against the shore, because she hasn't pulled away. Not yet, not yet. She still hasn't pulled away.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, lovely change in tone that, because I've seen pictures of your daughter, and yeah, I could definitely see her being like you when she gets older. Been a proper little rocker in one way or another.
She's 15 now, and so she'd have been 14 this summer, but this was a summer when she did pull away. She had to at some point, but she's still my little girl, and she's just, my kids are great. My kids are brilliant. I've got 3. They're all good. She's the only one who gets poems, because the boys would hate that. So
boys do, unfortunately, right? So yeah, oh, that's beautiful. Yeah. But you have to get her writing poetry next, definitely. But that beautiful stuff. So, right, yeah. Okay. Now we did drop hints before, obviously, about 2 particular poems. And it's up to you, this, Jackie. Do you want to? We're gonna have to do. I think we should do both those 2 poems anyway. But is there anything else you want to do on top of it?
Do you know what? I would like to do the 4.5 billion years, because that was my 3rd poetry slam win, and that was. Do you know? I haven't rehearsed. I'm scared I'm going to forget it all, but I'm just going to forget. Blah. Who cares? This is my 3rd poetry slam win. But it was also, I'm really proud of this piece because it's about ageism, and I came to writing. I came to writing in my late 30s, to poetry in my early 40s, and I've experienced some ageism, but I'm definitely of the opinion that older people like me, I include myself in this bracket, we're responsible largely for ageism by the way that we behave. And I believe that we have to completely embrace loving life and learning for eternity. My granny did it. She was never old, and she died at 93. And she might have been old at the end because she got a bit sad, but my mum's never old. I'm not going to say how old she is, but she's young. Okay, let's go for it. In 4.5 billion years, this earth has soared through these skies, and here we all are, caught up in the individual universes of our own unique lives. Little bundles of neurosis, monkey minds, primitive urges, hopes, dreams, fears, expectations, chaos, clutching at anything that might give our lives meaning. So tell me why, oh why, oh why must we negate half these precious years of our minuscule lives by being ageist? It's a unique phenomena, don't you think? That when the average lifespan is less than a flash in the pan in terms of existence, that we scathe, undermine, sneer at and dismiss people just for getting older. And I appreciate youth, that's not the point. Youth has a beauty that cannot be surpassed, and my heart is crushed when I hear the pressures that our youth are under just to fit other social expectations that are also mere fabrications of limited imaginations. But here's the thing. The passing of time cannot be controlled, not by Botox or hair dyes or white lies on forms. Yet so many people I know who hit 40 feel silenced and dump themselves in a box of washed up. And why? Because society lies to us. Now, I'm going to tell you a secret I very rarely share. I started rapping aged 42 on a festival stage wearing gold flares. But it was 2 years before I told my bandmates that I wasn't 38. And why? Because some people felt that as I'd straddled 40 that I should feel ashamed. And it took me a while to realise that actually I was doing just fine. In fact, for the first time in my life, I finally felt I knew my mind. And I've worked hard to get here. And I have learned hard along the way. And I've heard some bullshit spoken by people who think there's a right to spit closed-minded opinions just to gaslight the wise and the old ones. But I am big enough now, which is why my voice is loud. Because when I was young, I was too afraid of life to be someone, which is sad. Because now I know what no one ever tells you. It is hard, but it's beautiful getting older. Friendships deepen, expectations less, and you no longer take shit or get starstruck. And why? Because if you've lived long enough, you'll know. Seasons shift like falling star stuff, and blink, they'll be gone. Every summer, winter, spring, and autumn, because for 4.5 billion years, this earth has soared through these skies. So even if we live to 100, we'll only ever have 0.0000022% of that time to learn how to live our lives. And getting old is a privilege. It's not a right, it's not a given, so how is it occurs? And is it not time to call it out for what it is, more time to love, to learn, to laugh, to live, to leave our small, small prints on big, old earth?
No, brilliant. I've heard you do that one before, actually.
You might have done,
On
maybe.
the Zoom, on some Zoom night. I don't think you've done the spoken label. I remember at the time thinking brilliant stuff. No, great stuff, Jackie. Great to hear that one again, definitely. And it's so empowering. And then I would love to hopefully someday see you do that in person, because I could see you all over howling at people on that one, definitely.
Yeah,
so,
that's a bit of a. That's one I'm really happy with. I'm really proud of that piece. It
showed them straight away, and brilliant stuff. Right, okay. You can see how much we got off the Richter scale today. Now, what do you want to do then? Do you want to wrap up with those 2 poems we talked about?
I mean, I was going to do Drop the A, which is my AI poem. I don't think I need to. I think people can buy the book and they can find the performance at the back of the book in the big QR code.
Yeah, make the audience work, is my opinion.
Yeah, you can work for it. So, shall I finish on the one I did for my dad?
Please, yeah, let's do that one. It was a great one to wrap up with today. Yeah.
We'll end with really sad note.
Well, my philosophy is we go out either with a bang or we seriously depress people. Take it whatever way you want to take it. So.
I think it's beautiful. This is a true story about my father. Okay. My father didn't say goodbye. It was an exit, I suppose, of what is often called the French kind. But it wasn't that one minute he was here, one minute he was not. Rather, he softly chose to close the door the minute that he knew that all those minutes would soon be up. We loved this soft nature when we were young. We adored it too as he grew old. I know it hurts to think he's gone. It was this softness that he gave the world. He had strong principles and he was fun. He really made us want for nothing. He had ambitions for us. He loved our mum. He was committed to the art of hugging. And in many adorable ways, he had quirks, inadvertently gave us stories to treasure, like when he drove over the golf course to rescue his buggy and ended up nose down in the base of a bunker. And of course, as a family, we'd rib him for this and his other occasional, unconventional, just half a cup of tea ways. And he'd take all of our jibes of love and good humour because we were his centre. And he was always a man who lived up to the grace in our name. And so I grew up believing all men are good sorts. I can't understand when I see otherwise. What a legacy, therefore, my father did leave us, when he closed the door softly to spare us the pain of goodbye.
Beautiful. Really, really powerful way to wrap up tonight, Jackie. So I want to thank you for that as well. Now, there's one thing we didn't mention before we wrap up tonight, was it? About the awards. That's your...
Yeah, I should have been there, shouldn't I, really? I mean, so basically I've got a client. I've worked with them for over a year and they're like my main retainer client. I do all their marketing and admin, and they're a charity and they called Love Tech. They are so phenomenal. They are so upbeat. They're a big team of very committed women and a couple of blokes, and they run all these incredible STEM education activities, and I really adore them. And they were in the Excellence Awards tonight for the Isle of Man Media Excellence Awards, and it just pinged through before, and they won for education and learning initiatives. So that's a big thing. It's like a really massive event it's a really big event down at our big kind of concert hall. So yay!
I made up for him. That's why we had to get that mentioned in towards the end of this. So
yeah, I'm very happy.
All I would say, Jackie, is thank you again. It's been a pleasure. I can't believe it's been 2 years since we spoke last time. Spoken label. Time does absolutely flies. Yeah, so keep us informed when book number 4's out. Have you got a rough release date for book number 4 yet, or is that wait and see?
I think with Arts Council funding, it has to be out by the end of February, but I'm sure they're a little bit flexible. I'm not going to officially launch it until 2025 because I'm writing a play.
Right, and there's novels on the way as well, isn't there? Once
the poetry's out the way, write a play. So poetry out the way.
Yes, some of that rhymes. When the
I
poet's out of the
know.
way, right away.
I know, I do that sometimes.
Yeah.
Poetry out of the way, write the play, and then on to the novels. The novels, let's see what happens with the novels, if I live that long, of course.
You will. You'll be like your mum. You lived to 93, so that's about, what, 60 years to go,
That was my
basically.
grandmother. But yeah. So, yeah, millions of years to go. Yeah, and so millions of years to kind of get the novels right. Keep them away from AI. Never mind. Andy, thank you so much for having me. You're always a star. And I love listening to your little podcast because you've got a beautiful voice.
It was always a pleasure having you on, Jackie. Great fun. One of my favourite guests. So thank you again, my friend. Hang around. We need to talk further. So
okay. That
is it for today, guys and girls. This is one of my longer episodes today, but it's with a dear friend, so it's always good fun. So as Don Callis over at AEW Wrestling says, stay safe and stay over. See you all next time.
Spoken, man.